It's been a while since the last video, y'all. No excuses for not covering the previous chapters. I certainly could have talked about them. I was just lazy. I had decided to make a change to my videos that's minor to me, but apparently it's major to others, and that's the title. No more reviewing the title, instead it'll just say thoughts. I'm making this change since I was accused of clickbaiting as my videos weren't perceived as reviews. Of course, I disagree, but I'd rather people talk about the actual content of my videos than how it's labeled. So I'll bend the knee. Y'all got it. Now, back to the review. Thoughts. Chapter 201, Part 1. Yuri and Tomoko are studying over video call, and this is very reminiscent of what transpired in 167. My first takeaway is that this low angle of Yuri is funny. Yuri always wears his stoic, emotionless face, so she's the perfect character for this gag. My second takeaway is that Yuri is very impressionable, at least for the people she considers friends. Without Tomoko's influence, I doubt Yuri would stay up all night on a whim, but this follower behavior is not new. If you remember during the Mausyland arc, Yuri refused to listen to Nemo's suggestion to buy costume mirrors, but quickly changed her tune when Yoshida delivered the same message, and that's on the small scale. As we saw in Tomoko and Yuri's visit to Chiba West University, Yuri is willing to pick her college based on wherever her friends Mako, Yoshida, and Tomoko are. This doesn't mean that Yuri is a mindless bot willing to do whatever her friends say, just that her friends' opinions and life choices hold major weight to her own. Third takeaway is that I love the relationship between Yuri and Tomoko. This duo was voted best pair by the Japanese fandom, and for good reason. It's refreshing to see a genuine vibe between characters. You feel like Tomoko and Yuri are very comfortable together, with them sleeping during a video call and playing pranks on each other. I think the only person Tomoko can completely drop her guard around is with you, and not you Naruse. That is, as long as the topic of romance isn't brought up. As for the second part of chapter 201, we got the reunion of the Kyoto Trio. And yes, I said trio. I'll just let Satsuki the Savage from the past tell you why I'm excluding Uchi.
Killer Queen 第3の爆弾バイツァーダストやったぞ発動したぞ
Some people might say, what about Uchi? She was a part of the group, which is true, but she didn't become friends with any one of the Kyoto Trio during that trip, therefore I don't consider her a member. To pile on, Yoshida said something in this chapter that bolstered my belief that the Kyoto gang should only consist of her, Tomoko, and Yuri. I don't know if we're any better these days, but none of us were exactly popular during the second year, right? There's no way people like us could get along with everyone. Up until I read this chapter and I saw what Yoshida said, I never saw the Kyoto Trio as more than a group formed because of circumstance, but the root of their formation is their loner tendencies. Let me explain. Volume 8, second year. Tomoko at this point didn't have any friends in school unless you want to count Nemo, but I don't think Tomoko saw her as a friend then. Trying to skip out on forming a group for the Kyoto field trip, Tomoko sees her plan backfire and is appointed as leader of her group by great teacher Ogino. Yuri was in the group because she was abandoned by Mako, who decided to join Minami instead. Now that we know Yuri used to be in a friend group with Mako, Minami, and Sachi, it's less on Mako that Yuri ended up alone and more on Yuri's aloofness. As for Yoshida, although she had a circle of herself, Reina, and Anna, she made absolutely no effort in making friends with anyone in her class, opting to either sleep through class or be absent altogether. So again, the Kyoto Trio came to be because of their inability to get along with everyone. It wasn't pure chance that they were put in a group. As for Uchi, I've always considered her as an add-on. She was simply there because she couldn't be in a group of 5 with her friends. The others, however, are connected by the red string of loneliness. So, what did the Kyoto Trio do in this chapter? Yuri was the weak link this time around as far as her importance, but certainly not strength. She was baby shaking Tomoko every time she fell asleep, without good leverage I might add, so yeah, she's never beating the domestic abuser allegations. Had to give Yuri a little credit for reminding Tomoko of what she should be doing though. Yoshida on the other hand deserves a lot of credit. She was the star of the chapter. Right when it seemed as if Tomoko was stumped on what she'd do for the video, Yoshida drifts in, drops wisdom, and goes to sleep. For starters, Yoshida checking up on Tomoko shows her attentiveness for her friends. Tomoko hasn't even included Yoshida in the planning of this video at all, and I'm sure Yoshida doesn't care too much, but she's a good enough friend to ask about the progress because she knows it's bothering Tomoko. So props to Yoshida. The Linkers with the heart of gold will always be my favorite archetype. As it pertains to Yoshida's advice, her words both reminded me of the bond between the Kyoto Trio and led Tomoko to change her approach to the video by going back to her roots. This whole time Tomoko has been struggling to come up with ideas because she's been trying to appease everyone. However, Tomoko isn't a social butterfly that can adapt to any and everyone. Who she is as a person is a one-man show that gradually but surely attracts a crowd. Instead of Tomoko fitting her ideas to what she believes everyone wants, Yoshida is suggesting that she gets everyone on board with what she wants. And when you think about this whole ordeal, it probably parallels to the process of a mangaka trying to publish a chapter with editors telling them, you can't do this, you can't do that, but they still have to come to the conclusion that I have to make what I want, but of course they can make amendments. I mean, people already believe that WataMote is just the autobiography of Iko, the male author of Nico Tanigawa, so yeah, it would kind of add up. Back to the chapter though, Yoshida's advice is good advice, and it seems to have lit a fire into Tomoko to stop procrastinating, but it also plays into the overarching theme of WataMote, which is simply be yourself. Tomoko's journey through the ups and downs has showed us in the pursuit of popularity, what actually got her friends was her genuine self. As weird as Tomoko is, she has people that are fond of her, and as it relates to the video for the festival, as much as people might not have loved her initial idea, Tomoko has proven she can get people to change their mind. Remember, although unintentional, Tomoko was actually the one that got her class to vote for Kyoto as their field trip destination in chapter 49. As Uchi would attest, Tomoko has that gross charisma, and it helps that she's the main character too. Last thing I want to cover is speculating the direction of Tomoko's script. I'm not going to guess the specifics of what she has planned, but we can guess broad ideas, and I say we because I want anyone who's watching to give me your best guesses as well. What I expect to see is Tomoko giving an out to people who might not care about the festival. Tomoko is in a unique situation of one who was a complete loner and tasted a little popularity. She certainly hasn't forgotten about what it felt like being out of her place in her first year during the festival. Therefore, I think she'll have some sort of responsibility that's tailor-made for loners that don't want to socialize. We know most people in her class, but there could be a couple of people who aren't too keen on the video, like Minami for example. I also believe Tomoko will call upon Nemo's voice acting ability, if for nothing else, to showcase it to the rest of the class. With how Tomoko and Nemo had talked about her dream of becoming a voice actress, I think it would be a missed opportunity to not utilize Nemo on the stage. Conversely, I think Yuri will either not be featured much at all or get a role where she doesn't have to speak too much. Tomoko and Yuri are similar in their introversion, so I don't think Tomoko would make her do something that she herself wouldn't be too comfortable doing. Asuka could maybe do makeup or costumes for obvious reasons, and yeah, that's about all I got. So people, that about does it for my non-review video. It's just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. What did you think about the video? I'm your boy Satsuki the Savage, and I am out.
Tasting your soul, you're not in control, just giving you goals. Scared of your past, the future is closed. The start is the end is a start. They both are the same, can't tell them apart. Nigga, that's cuz the intro was the outro.